Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Philip Kaufman, filling in for Julia Wiegand. A 57-year-old cold case has been solved by the Pennsylvania State Police. WYLN's Mackenzie Ocker has the story.
On Wednesday, March 18, 1964, Maurice Ann Chivarella left her house located on North Alter Street while making her way towards St. Joseph's Parachild School on North Laurel Street. On that same day, around 1 p.m., her body was found fully clothed in a stripping hole used for refuse. After 57 years, Pennsylvania State Police have identified the suspect who raped, murdered, and left Chivarella in the stripping hole.
So using the samples we obtained, we narrowed potential suspect list down to 4 individuals. One of those individuals had been arrested in 1974 by the Pennsylvania State Police. I believe it was Trooper Geib, who couldn't make it today. He was arrested for involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, sexual assault, and aggravated assault. The same person who was also arrested by Hazleton City Police Department in 1978 for reckless endangerment and harassment. Armed with this information and the ability to eliminate the other 3 suspects, we found our main suspect. So our suspect has been identified as James Paul Fort.
The Pennsylvania State Police created a DNA suspect profile in 2007 through the killer's fluids found on Chivarella's clothing. From there, it wasn't until 2019 that they were given their first genealogical match. To assist them on finding family members of the suspect, genealogist Eric Schubert was called in.
Just a little bit about my background. My work with genealogy stretches back over 10 years and has been featured nationally. I've assisted in several other cold cases throughout the country over the past 2 years. And as was mentioned, I've been involved in this investigation for about 2 years. So it's certainly something that I've been working on a very long time, and it means a lot to me, as I know it does to so many people here.
Family members of Chivarella gathered to finally get answers and to learn who was responsible for her death. Her brother and sister had a few words to say, thanking the Pennsylvania State Police and getting the closure they needed.
An expression of this comes from a March 20th, 2019 press conference when Trooper Petrosky said, and I paraphrase, he said, "Over the last 55 years, this investigation has not stopped. And it is not going to stop." So it spoke so well to the spirit and the dedication we had seen for the 55 years that preceded that day.
Family will always feel the emptiness and the sorrow of her absence. Consequently, we will continue to ask ourselves, what would have been, what could have been?
Also giving remarks to the Pennsylvania State Police and Chivarella family was Luzerne County District Attorney Samuel Sangl-Dulce.
It's our great regret that we do not get to prosecute the individual responsible. However, I believe the family said it best, that he will face his own vengeance where he is right now. Again, thank you to the family for having patience and faith that eventually we would come to the conclusion and find the identity of the murderer. And thanks to the Pennsylvania State Police and the rest of my team that actually worked tirelessly to find the results in this case. Thank you.
Even though James Paul Fort passed away over 41 years ago, justice has finally been served in Hazleton. Reporting in Hazel Township for WYLN News, I'm Mackenzie Ocker.
Thank you, Mackenzie. The Flock Safety Camera System helped nab 2 suspects involved in a Wednesday afternoon police chase in Hazleton. A black BMW with Mississippi registration was found to be wanted by New Jersey State Police. Hazleton police observed the vehicle parked at the intersection of West Broad and Church Streets. The vehicle took off at a high rate of speed when approached by police, struck a parked car on Grant Street, and continued towards Broad Street, where officers observed the driver throw a baggie out the window. The BMW crashed near the Beach Street playground, where the suspects then fled on foot. 2 of the 3 men were apprehended a short time later. 22-year-old Franklin Santos and 24-year-old Eric Camilo Heredia were both charged with possession of marijuana and resisting arrest. The 2 were taken to prison for an arraignment. Police have issued an arrest warrant for the driver, 25-year-old Yacer Murillo Mateo. so anyone with information on his whereabouts is being asked to contact the Hazleton Police Department. A Hazleton man was arrested on felony drug charges and several traffic violations. The Hazleton Police Narcotics Unit was conducting surveillance when they observed a suspicious vehicle parked in the 500 block of Grant Street. 30-year-old Yariel Areas was seen getting into the car carrying a purple laundry bag. He then left the area at an excessive rate of speed and was pulled over on West 22nd Street near Penn Court. Officers detected an odor of marijuana coming from the vehicle and found that the laundry bag contained nearly 2 pounds of suspected marijuana. Arias was taken into custody and charged with possession with intent to deliver and 4 traffic violations. He was taken to Luzerne County Prison for lack of $25,000 bail. One person had to be taken to the hospital following a stabbing incident in Wilkes-Barre. Police were called to the 200 block of Lehigh Street around 3 Wednesday afternoon for a reported stabbing. The victim, who hasn't been identified yet, was taken to an area hospital for what was said to be non-life-threatening injuries. There's no word at this time as to whether anyone was taken into custody or if any charges were filed. A 5-year-old boy died after falling into a frozen pond in Schuylkill County. Emergency responders were called to 43 Molino Road in West Brunswick Township near Orwigsburg, where police were informed that a 4- and 5-year-old had fallen into the icy pond. The children's mother was able to rescue the 4-year-old prior to crews arriving, but the 5-year-old couldn't be seen until the Schuylkill Haven dive team arrived and found the boy underwater. He was flown to Geisinger in Danville, where he was later pronounced dead, while the 4-year-old was taken to a Delaware Children's Hospital, where his condition remains unknown at this time. State police at Schuylkill Haven are currently investigating this incident. West Hazleton Council voted to appoint its public safety director to zoning board secretary at last night's meeting. Former Borough Police Chief Brian Buglio was hired as the safety director just days after he pled guilty to deprivation of rights under the color of law. He was sentenced last October to serve 2 months in federal prison, followed by 4 months of house arrest. Buglio, who now serves as public safety director, will also take on the role for a non-paid secretary position with the zoning board. According to council, Buglio has been taking classes and will assist zoning officer Charles Pedri. A Shenandoah man was charged for a hit and run in West Mahanoy Township back in early January. The accident happened on January 3rd in the area of Ringtown Boulevard and Route 924. Police say that a white Acura with New York registration hit the back part of a Mazda, then fled the scene. Police conducted an investigation and charged 32-year-old Dominic Hernandez with accidents involving damage to attended vehicles, failing to stop, driving without a license, and reckless driving. The Luzerne County Courthouse and all other county buildings will be reopened to the public starting Monday, February 14th. The administration limited public access to county buildings back on January 5th after a surge in COVID-19 cases. Public access to the courthouse was limited to conducting essential business. Anyone who enters a county building will be required to wear a face mask until further notice. Acting County Manager Ramilda Kraukomo said that they'll continue to monitor the county COVID positivity and hospitalization rates, as well as internal COVID positive results of county staff before making any changes to the mask policy. Coming up on Wyln News, a water leak in Cunningham and grants for fire companies. Plus, it's game day. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the Wyln Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Ezra. I'm 5 years old. It's partly cloudy out here.
We want your child to be our Wyln Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on Wyln News and Wyln social media posts, just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the Wyln News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today. SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call S.J. Kowalski at 570-455-2600. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online.
The Cunningham Sugarloaf Joint Municipal Authority is experiencing a significant spike in water pumping from the distribution system. Water customers are being asked to call 570-788-0608 if they begin to hear a hissing or ringing sound from their water meter, which may be an indication of a leak that requires immediate repair. The authority hasn't said when the increased activity began or how many customers could be impacted at this time. Over $29 million was awarded to just over 2,100 recipients under the Fire Company and Emergency Medical Service Grant Program. The grant program is administered by the Office of State Fire Commissioner to volunteer and career fire companies, emergency medical services, and rescue squads. All fire companies, EMS, and volunteer rescue squads are eligible to apply for this annual grant program. Eligible projects this year include facility upgrades, equipment, debt reduction, training, education and public outreach, recruitment and retention, revenue loss due to the pandemic, and more. Additional information can be found online at osfc.pa.gov. Our WYLN sports crew is already in Wilkes-Barre gearing up for its next 2022 high school basketball game. We kick off with some live Cougar Wolfpack action tonight when the ball is in Wilkes-Barre's court for the boys matchup against Hazleton. Get your favorite fill of Marty Burns and our WYLN sports crew bringing you the event, not just the highlights. No plans tonight? No problem. Got some? Well, cancel them. Instead, tune in for the 7:30 tip-off and all the live local action right here on WYLN TV. Coming up on Laurel Run's News Choice, we take a trip down to the Carbon County Shelter in Community and You. Plus, leading the way, Part 4. Stay with us.
When emergency strikes, trust your care to the all-new ER at Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton. With a facility that's now twice the size. Experienced nurses who see you right away. A quick assessment process makes sure you get the care you need. Advanced technology on site. Safe, private treatment rooms, and a peace of mind that only this level of care can bring. When it matters most, trust your partner in emergency care. Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton.
Penn State Hazleton is improving the lives of others, starting in our community.
Providing degrees that meet the needs of the area.
Fueling entrepreneurship and contributing more than $36 million annually to the state's economy.
Researching the health of our local ecosystem on the Susquehanna River.
Together, our impact keeps growing, backed by the strength of 24 campuses and 700,000 alumni.
This week for Let's Talk Chiropractic, where we'll have Miriam on with her incredible disposition, how she overcame all these terrible things in a car accident. Tune in.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Moore & Associates, accountants and advisors located at 751 North Church Street in Hazleton. Contact them for all your individual and business tax and accounting needs.
Tabla Supply, here to supply you with over 25 years of home improvement industry experience. Call 570-500-1351. Check out their showroom at 325 West Walnut Street in Hazleton or tablasupply.com for all your business and home improvement or special project needs.
The Carbon County Commissioners declared February Love a Dog for Life Month. And to celebrate, the Carbon County Animal Shelter is offering half-price adoptions in order to help get the shelter pups loving forever homes. The regular adoption fee of $100 has been cut in half to $50 for the entire month of February. The shelter currently has numerous lovable dogs waiting for their special someone. First up is Silk. She has been waiting to find her forever home. Silk wouldn't do well with a large family, but she would give lots of love to that right person. Up next is Sugar. She is around 3 years old and was brought into the shelter as a stray. This little girl would really like to find a person who will love her forever. Bean is a male mini pincher who also came to the shelter as a stray. This little guy is about 2 years old, is full of energy, fixed and up to date on his shots. Sammy has been calling the shelter home since last May after she was found tied to a pole. She's just over a year old and is a bit shy at first, but quickly warms up once she gets the chance to know you. Muggsy was found a few months ago running loose with a muzzle on. Since he's been at the shelter, this handsome guy is learning to trust again. Muggsy loves his treats and likes playing with his toys. And last but not least is Hershey. She's a sweet girl and has been patiently waiting for over a year for her new home. This fun and friendly dog is around 3 years old and will need an active home where she can also go for long walks. The first step in picking out your new companion starts with a visit, which can be done by calling and making an appointment.
We try to make it as less complicated as possible. We want to hook the right dog up with the right family. So really the start of it is a visit. You have to come down, you have to see the dogs we have on hand. If you see something that interests you, we give you the information. We let you take it for a walk as long as it's up to date on shots. We give you all the information we know on the dog. And then it takes a couple visits. You're never going to walk into this shelter and walk out with a dog in the same day. It's not fair to you and it's not fair to the dog. So we're going to work with you as long as it takes just to make it right. And usually it's a pretty pleasant experience for folks.
You may want to do your homework to figure out what dog best fits your lifestyle.
Some dogs take more grooming than other dogs. Some dogs grow to be bigger than other dogs. Some dogs have hound in them and they bark more or they're herding dogs and they need that exercise. So just do a little research online, call your shelter, stop at a library. That's always a great thing. And do your homework. Find out what's going to work for you and then go into the shelter with open mind and open heart and see what happens.
Getting the right person and dog together is a match made in heaven.
We want to know what your household is like. Do you have a lot of young children? Do you have any other pets? Do you have a fenced-in yard? All those answers are going to help us determine what dog might be best for you. And then we go from there. So it's the basic questions. What kind of style are you looking for? Are you looking for a dog that's going to hike with you for hours or a dog that's going to lay on the couch with you most of the day? Things like that. And we work pretty closely with you to try to make sure that the fit is right.
Dogs need more than just food and water. You may want to make your home as comfortable and safe as possible for your new best buddy.
Sometimes a dog is going to be crated if the owner's not going to be home during the day, so they're going to put it in a crate, and crates can be expensive. So sometimes when people adopt a dog, if it's a dog that may be crated, we have crates that we can lend them or give them and help that start. They're going to need some new bowls to start with. They're going to want some toys to start with, some blankets, maybe a bed for the dog, just something that so it knows it's feeling special right from the day it comes in. So items like that we can help with most of the time and direct them as far as what they need, what they don't. The biggest thing they need is they need a good leash. We provide a collar for our dogs, but they need a good leash. You're going to be walking these dogs. Most of our dogs are big dogs, 60, 80, 90-pound dogs. When people come in with a retractable leash, I just want to send them home because it's not fair to the dog even. You know, don't come in and adopt a dog and bring in a $1.99 leash for it. You know, buy yourself a good leash. This way you could take it on long walks and good walks and make it feel special right from the start.
So remember, bringing home a pet is a lifetime commitment. And if you're ready to love a dog for life, call the Carbon County Animal Shelter at 570-325-4828 to schedule your appointment.
Third Base Luncheonette, still making memories after all these years.
You always get a feel-good shopping experience at Grand Central in Hazleton.
Have you ever experienced that super pushy salesperson who follows you all around? Not here.
Or wandered around that big box store looking for help in the appliance department, only to find the pink guy? Not here.
And we have an experienced, courteous sales staff here to help you find the perfect mattress, piece of furniture, or appliance with no pressure.
And don't forget, everyday low prices.
You always get a feel-good shopping experience at Grand Central in Hazleton.
Something is out there. What it is, no one knows. However, since its first sighting, there have been numerous reports of strange lights in the night sky. Some say they are extraterrestrials, flying saucers. But to all of those seemingly unrelated uncertainties, there is one common thread.
Solo Spaceman on Wyln TV 35. Thursdays at 1:30, Saturdays at 4, Sundays at 9. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
Wyln's going behind the scenes to learn more about the lives and goals of our local leaders. So, Dr. John Degenhart's leading the way into part 4 of this week's series.
And welcome back to this week's Leading the Way with Dr. John Degenhart of Degenhart Chiropractic. Dr. John, you've been treating patients in Hazleton for decades. What do you say to people who have a fear about receiving chiropractic treatment? Because we had talked about that, and quite honestly, I've had some of those views myself, you know.
And I did too. Remember, I hurt my back. For years I went to the medical profession, and it hasn't changed. When they did not help me, and I said to my doctor back then, what do you think about chiropractic? Because I was on crutches, my legs were numb. He even said to me, oh, you don't want to try them. But nothing else was helping me. So when I thought there were cracks and I had the same fear that it's going to be rough, I think that's why we're so busy. I can get myself in people's shoes, and I remember how afraid I was. So when people meet me, say at a Christmas party, John, I want to see you. I have migraines, but I'm afraid. Some guy cracked me so hard 5 years ago, and I have to gently say to them, just come one visit. Let me prove to you that it's going to be more gentle, and it always is. And they'll say, how'd you get rid of my migraines when you were so much... I think people think, Tracy, that it has to be rough to get the spine in place. I feel great because I don't have a rough technique.
Right.
when you see these chiropractors who rack and crack and twist, it's not only hard on the patient's spine and it puts that fear factor in, it's tough on the chiropractor's spine. So all my joints are good, so I pray people just come to the office that first visit, we overcome their fear, and the joy is that fearful first visit, by the second, third visit, they bring their son or their mother, and then it's a joyful thing to see that enthusiasm sort of spread. So that's what I love still doing.
Besides traditional treatment, what other services do you offer to your patients?
We have 3 full-time massage therapists. So besides chiropractic, car accidents, for example, a lot of people are so tight, they don't want to take muscle relaxers and anti-inflammatories due to side effects, so they can get a gentle massage, and it's all covered by the insurance. We also have physical therapy. I used to refer my patients, let's say you have tendinitis, I would refer you to a physical therapist. They would try to talk you out of not coming back to me. So we had to take extra courses to do physical therapy, and I'll be honest with you, physical therapy has we do minor little like bursitis, tendinitis. If you have like a broken leg, you need a lot of physical therapy, I refer them to physical therapists. But overall, massage therapy, chiropractic, and then some physical therapy.
What are some of the achievements that you're most proud of?
You know, I'll be honest with you, I don't think I've achieved anything, one big thing great in my life, but I think if you could go to the office every day, 5 days a week, 50 weeks, 5 years, 10 years, 42 years, Tracy, and I'll be blunt. I walk in my office every day and I just say, dear Lord, guide me today. Let your healing light be with me. So it's a joy for me to maintain that kind of stability or perseverance. So I don't think there's any one great achievement, but staying married to my wife for 38 years, raising 5 children, loving my patients, having a positive attitude, not letting this world break me, because you have to learn how to renew your mind. You and I, Tracy, life gets tough sometimes. People watching the show, I know some of them are at the end of their ropes. They have no jobs and no money. They can't pay their rent. But I've learned you just can't give up. So I think that is my greatest achievement, of never giving up, maintaining a renewal of my mind to keep consistent all of these years.
Some great advice. Check back tomorrow night as Dr. John continues leading the way into part 5 of this week's segment. Good night.
And that's the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest on our Facebook page, YouTube page, or at WYLNTV.com. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next, right here on WYLN TV.